Burst Protocol releases here in the TCG in less than 4 months, and there is a new branded card in here that we really do need to talk about. It's called Brigade Springans Kitt, and you guys will see the art to the side right there, and we have the text for the effect on full display. It's actually quite a simple card too. I do think that this actually helps branded a lot in terms of having a really good way to extend your plays. So it's a level 4 light beast effect monster. So it's light. That's basically the best attribute for branded besides dark. And then beast, it can also be a high spirits target. That means for brigade or the new devouring dragon of the dogma. And then the first effect is if you control a brigade or springans monster other than brigade springans Kitt, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that means this is going to be a very good extender for the Spriggans deck or even a Brigade deck. However, the second effect is where us branded players get a lot of use out of it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one of these from your graveyard, except Brigade Spriggans Kitt. A Brigade monster, a Springans monster, or a Fallen of Albaz, or a monster that mentions it. You might be like, oh, this is just another brick for branded, right? It's much more of a Springans card. So the Brigade Springans Kitt allows you, when it's sent to the graveyard by any means, that means if you discard it off of Albaz, Super Poly, it will trigger. Or even off a branded fusion, and guess what? It's a light. Guess what our best monster that we make off a branded fusion is? Albion the Branded Dragon. What does that require? A light monster. So we gotta talk about the monsters this can actually revive and how this is going to be used in branded, because to me this is very similar to another card that just came out, because we have the Dogmatica Chaplain right here, which is actually quite similar, but it's a V-Jump card. And just to remind you guys, this basically is a Maximus if your opponent can, or if there's a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck on the field, and then if it's special summoned from the hand, you make each player send one card monster from their extra deck to the graveyard, and if it's sent to the graveyard by any means, you can target one Dogmatica card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So we have a lot of really good just generic discards in a deck with a ton of discards, right? Because branded is a deck that usually needs discards, whether it's off of Super Poly, like I mentioned, Fallen of Albaz, Forbidden Droplet, just like all these different other ways, and this is how you can make your advantage even better. However, I think the best part about this is that obviously it can revive one monster in your graveyard that mentions Fallen of Albaz. What are some of those targets, guys? Well, for one, there's Mirror Jade, right? Now we have 5 ways to loop Mirror Jade, guys. You know, people talk about looping Mirror Jade being the game plan of branded Despia, and it just got better, right? If we just added a 5th way to do it. Because first we have Sanctifier, of course. Then we have branded Banishment. And then, of course, we have the Quem. And then we have the original Mirror Jade. So that's 4 Mirror Jade banishes. However, now we have the Brigade Springans Kitt, which, you know, if you just are in a crackback mode, you know, there's 2 branded fusion in the game. You're going to be able to, this is the best send you could ever have off a branded fusion, turns 3, 4, or 5, right? Because let's just say you set up a board, your opponent cracked it, but they couldn't kill you. Well, you have the crackback because that's how branded operates. You always generate, follow-up off your plays. You'll have this to send off of the branded fusion on the crackback, and then you can just go chainlink one Albion and then chain block the Albion from a Ghost Bell, and then go Brigade Springans Kitt, and then you can target the Mirror Jade in your graveyard that your opponent sent to the graveyard because they broke your board or whatever. So now you just have like an immediate, it's an incredible crackback piece, I think, right? All right, so this is going to be a very common scenario, guys, I think, when you're playing branded. And essentially, you're going to have a Mirror Jade plus a Cartesia with an Albazin board. Now, if you have this card in your hand, right, you are going to be able to do several different things. Also, this is searchable, by the way, right? This is searchable off of Stigmata, so you can always add this to hand off of Stigmata. You could go Mirror Jade, right, 1, to send the Rinbrum. You banish a monster your opponent controls with the Mirror Jade. Wonderful. And then you can go Rinbrum effect. Go Rinbrum, and then you can send the Rinbrum to the graveyard, but then you can just go Cartesia, fuse off the Mirror Jade plus something else, you know, whether it's probably a dark, you'd want it to be a dark, so you can make a Stapelia. I highly recommend running Stapelia with the new cards. It comes up a lot in my opinion. And then you can go the you can go the Rinbrum in the graveyard to banish itself to special summon out the Fallen of Albaz, and then you can go Fallen of Albaz effect, to discard the Springans Kitt, and then you can fuse off whatever your opponent has. Let's just say that they have 2 monsters, right? So you just make Stigmata. And then you can go chain link 1 Springans Kitt, target Mirror Jade to special summon it, and then chain link 2 Stigmata. The Stigmata is not really important, but you can see how this is like a very good card. And once again, this card searches it, right? If this card was sent to your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add 1 Dogmatic or Tri-Brigade card from your deck to your hand. So you can actually this is highly searchable and branded. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, on any high spirits line, you should be able to get this to your hand, essentially. And that just means you have another way to loop Mirror Jade. And to me, that's, like, really worth it. It's a light monster, so it's really free as well. It doesn't really do anything else for your deck, but, you know, it being a light monster, like, this just... I feel like I'd never want to run Branded Banishment again, kind of thing. Like, yes, you can for the 5 banishes. Like, you can sure run Branded Banishment plus, you know, everything else to be able to do that. And what's insane about this card is that the Golden Sword Soul is a card we used to run a lot back in the day, and even in Master Duel to this day. And the Golden Sword Soul says if a monster is banished while this card is in the graveyard or hand, you can special summon 1 light spellcaster from your hand or graveyard whose attack equals its own defense by banishing this card. This is just the same thing, except way more generic for our deck because it's highly searchable. Once again, we can just search this in the end phase off of the Stigmata. And then also, we can target any monster, right, that mentions Fallen of Albaz. So this just targeted Quemar Cartesia. Now I can target Albaz. Now I can target Shrouded. Now I can target Mirror Jade, Stigmata, all these different options. The ceiling is endless for this card, in my opinion. However, I think this card is being as searchable as it is off of the Stigmata Devouring Dragon means that it's actually a very good piece for Branded, and you guys should definitely try it out once it comes out. I'm going to probably be running it as a one-of. This card also, I think, has the most insane synergy with That Grass Looks Greener, which is a card that people they can run in Branded because it is technically a starter and it's a pretty good card in Branded. This makes it even better, right? Because if you mill the Tri-Brigade Springans Kitt off of the grass while you're milling other monsters like Quem or Cartesia, it's just a free summon. You know, you could start loading up your mills with like Shiren and stuff like that. And you can just make that grass basically be a game winner on the spot very easily. And this card even helps that, you know, post-structure deck. But yeah, guys, if you want to see this deck profile, by the way, that we have on screen, go check it out. It was yesterday's video. Link down below. Not everyone got to see it, and I do appreciate all the recent support. We just got 14,000 subscribers. Thank you all very, very much. Very much appreciate that, guys. I feel very extraordinarily lucky that I come on here that I get to come here on every day and like have the audience come through and be so supportive and be able to talk Branded with you guys on a daily basis. So I do appreciate that. Leave a like down below if you did enjoy the video. Comment what you guys thought of this card. And then also check out my website if you want to help support the channel. Click the join button to become a channel member today and get into my members only classroom, which gets you all my early deck lists before anywhere else. And you also get members only videos and you get into all the monthly giveaways. So it's a fantastic way to support the channel. And then once again, go to my website to help support the channel by picking up a spreadsheet, a playmat, or some merch. So yeah, guys, with that being said, we'll be seeing you guys later. Have a great day. Bye now.